All right, I think we are live. If everyone wants to let me know if you can see me, hear me okay. We'll give it just a couple minutes for people to join in and we'll get
Nice.
started. Cody, how's it going?
Man, life is good. Can't complain one bit.
What'd you work on today?
Let's see. Today, something really boring. We're backlogging our eBay stuff. So we recently moved. We bought a house. And so if I turn the computer, you could see just loads of used shoes and just eBay crap. So trying to get some of that tamed a little bit.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I always hated, I don't sell on eBay, but I use Mercari for like my liquidation platform. I always hate that process of having to list everything. I actually just got one of my VA team members that would to handle that task for me.
Nice. Yeah, that's smart. It's a good way to run. It's much cleaner without doing. The problem is I enjoy thrifting, so it's not, you can't build as big of a business as fast, but it's something I enjoy. So I've still got crap from thrift stores in a death pile that need to be listed. So
Well, we'll go ahead and get started. Just tell us a little bit about yourself, kind of your background, and how you got into the Amazon space.
yeah, heck yeah. So my wife and I have we've been married for 10 years. We got 5 kids. I was a server at a Mexican restaurant, and then Cisco, what's up, man? Anyways, I was a server at a Mexican restaurant, bartender, and I got started in insurance. Did really well in insurance, and then started an agency, and we had that business, so I had a little bit of the business background, and then one of my managers at one point sent me a Gary Vaynerchuk video to motivate me to sell more insurance, and he had this whole I guess it was the 2017 flip challenge. He had this whole thing where he said, you just need to flip some stuff and you can make some money. I forget. I think it was to flip $20,000 worth of free stuff the
Yeah,
next year or something.
20,170. I remember
Yep,
seeing
that's
that.
what it was. Yeah, and that's how I got in. I started selling gym equipment. I started picking up free crap on Facebook Marketplace and then Craigslist, and then we would just resell it. And then we started buying liquidation pallets and and we saw how quickly that was moving on eBay. And then one day I started an Amazon account, and I was like, this stuff is selling for way more on Amazon, and it was completely out of terms of service. Like it not, it's very bad way to do it. But that's how we got started. And then we from there we started doing used books, and then the networking side, Gary Vaynerchuk was like, just create content. So I'm not a fitness guy at all, but my early content was about me in the gym, which is hilarious. And then it was kind of, I would hint that I was doing the reselling thing, and then it kind of snowballed from there. Networked with some people, and then that's when I got serious on Amazon and started to get some of the volume with it. So
Awesome. Yeah, I actually started from Gary Vee as well. I didn't go like the Craigslist free stuff route, but I saw him talking about retail arbitrage flipping, and he
mm-hmm.
was talking about like how you can go to Marshalls, scan something for $20, sell it on Amazon for 60, and then do that like 50 times.
Yep.
And then what really got me is Gary was like, this is a way that you can make a quick $5,000. And Gary never uses the word quick. He's always talking about patience. So whenever
Yeah,
he said that word quick, I knew it had to be legit. So I just started doing research, got on YouTube, went down the rabbit trail from there. But yeah, Gary's how I started as well.
that's awesome. Small world.
Yeah. So do you remember how exactly you found out about Amazon specifically? Like after you had been selling the other stuff for a while?
Yeah, somebody at the liquidation place had mentioned that they sold on Amazon, and but what they told me was, you're going to get kicked off. They said, you it's worth trying, but you're probably going to lose your account. So I just figured, heck, I'll see if I can get 100 orders out of it. But before I didn't think I was doing anything wrong. I didn't really understand the whole process, but from what I understood at that point, it wasn't going to grow into anything big. Certainly not what it is now. And so we just started trying it. It's like let's see what happens. And then we kept waiting. Like in my mind, I was kind of waiting like for the other shoe to drop, and it never did. And things just got better. Like month over month, we grew every month for like a long time, like probably like 18 months or something straight. We just reinvested. Like for the longest time, we didn't take any cash out of the business. Like I was religious about it. Like that money is business money, and we don't mess with business money. That goes back into more inventory, more operation, that sort of thing. So.
Yeah, it sucks, but like as an entrepreneur, a lot of times you have to be kind of the sacrificial lamb and be the one not taking that pay cut for
Yep.
such a long time and just continually reinvesting everything back into the business.
Yep.
That's what allows you to scale to a point where if you want, you can take a nice salary.
I'm still there, honestly. I mean, we're still kind of small potatoes. Like we're not doing anything that's just crazy out of this world in terms of volume or profit, and we're paying ourselves a lot less than we could. But my conviction is in 18 months or 2 or 3 years, that can change. But even now, like it's kind of like the amount of money that goes through operationally, and then my wife sees what our what we pay ourselves salary wise. She gets ticked about it. She doesn't but I think long term, it makes sense. So
Yeah, for sure. I wanted to touch on that liquidation thing. You were talking about how like you didn't know that could really impact your account. Do you want to explain to the viewers a little bit about why that's kind of a no-no for Amazon?
Yeah, for sure. So the number one thing that I say to people, like, and I get it probably 10 times a week or something. Hey, I want to sell on Amazon. I want to do what you do. Number one thing I say is get an account first. That's the, just start. Like most people never get past that. And so one out of those 10, probably half a person out of those 10 will actually start. The second thing I say to those people is now that you have an account, your number one job is protecting your account. You need at any time to be ready to justify or prove authenticity of anything that you sell as new. So, if I sell this Nike shoe back here, and then someone says, "Hey, this is counterfeit," or some idiot tries to get a credit or whatever and says, "I think this might not be authentic." Well, Amazon's going to potentially come after me and say you need to provide proof of purchase that it's authentic. So we kind of have a system where we keep the receipts and whatnot, and at the drop of a hat, I've seen people lose $200,000 a month accounts over not crossing the T and dotting the I. So that in the beginning we weren't doing any of that. I was literally pulling crap out of a liquidation pallet and listing it new on Amazon, and I didn't know better. So I was very lucky. Don't do that. Do it the
Yeah,
right
that's a big no-no.
right.
Yeah, it's super important to make sure on all of your purchases you have chain of custody. You have that receipt, that invoice, whatever it is to prove that the item you're selling is actually new and where you got it from.
Yep.
It's not worth the risk. Like you might get insane profit, insane ROI off of some liquidation stuff, but it's not worth losing your account. Like you can make $500 on an item maybe doing that, or you can make no dollars the next day because you lost your account.
Yep. And they don't give a crap about you. That like people think, I don't know what people think, but they're surprised to find that out. But like, even if you're doing 7 figures on Amazon, you're a freaking nobody, and they don't give a crap. And you might get somebody on the phone maybe that will be nice to you, but in the end, it doesn't matter. Your main job as an Amazon seller is protecting your account, and so put systems in place. Don't sell questionable brands that have been known to. We pretty religiously go through IP alert, check back. We don't do 90 days. We check back further than that for any severe drop offs where somebody might have tried to file an IP complaint. So
are you doing that on every purchase?
We're doing it on every new brand, so we do it by brand.
Cool. Cisco asks, would you say reading Profit First would help you grow your business? Do you use that system?
Cisco is quickly becoming one of my favorite people on the internet. So he's been telling me for about 3 or 4 months to read that book, and I haven't read it yet. So
you got to read it.
Yeah,
it's a really good book. They even have a version specifically for e-commerce sellers.
Yep.
But yeah, it's a really good system. I don't follow it like to a T, but I took the principles from the business and I'm applying it and how I manage my finances.
Yeah.
So you want to walk us through kind of what your business operation looks like today?
Sure. So we're probably 70% OA. We just moved. We bought a house that's a little bit further out from the city, and so when I was at my old house, we were close to probably I could get to 12 Walmarts in a day with no problem. And so we were a lot more RA heavy uh you know, with the way we were set up there. Now we're kind of out in the boonies, so it's easier to do OA. It's more practical. And so yeah, I spend the day trying to spend as much money as possible with this old computer that I work on. So that's kind of we do an OA shipment twice a week, which hopefully I'm offloading on you soon with the new prep center. Congrats on getting all that together.
Thank you.
Um,
Yeah, I'll drop a link to that as well if anyone's interested.
nice. And so that's we do a shipment twice a week. We do merchant fulfilled 3 times a week, or more if we have to. And then a lot of our time is spent. I have other projects I'm working on too. So when we went from probably 50-50 RA and OA to being you know more primarily focused on OA, it freed up a lot of my time. I hate to admit it because I love RA and I love getting out there, but like OA, like you're just ordering crap online, so you don't have to drive 30, 45 minutes or do a loop around the city, so it's freed up time. So I'm working on other projects, and some of them are in the reselling space, some of them are not. So it's kind of trying different things. I really like small business, and I want to start a YouTube eventually, that'll be focused on people that are coming up in like the foster care system, and like people that are like lower income. I want to show different ways that they can make money and really kind of dig out of that, because it's not easy, and a lot of them believe that they can't do that. So that's kind of a passion project for me.
Yeah, RA is it can be fun. It's like kind of a treasure hunt, but if you really want to scale your business or even just get some of your time back and stay where you are, OA is definitely the way to go.
Oh yeah.
Would you say, like, are you using OA more so to get your time back, to spend less time driving around and stuff, or are you using it as another method to scale your business, or both?
Yeah, so our business plan this year was not to scale Amazon. We wanted to maintain what we did last year, and that sounds sounds kind of counterintuitive, knowing some of the goals that I've talked about. But we had a really good year last year, and we've had a lot of change, a lot of different things that have kind of changed, where we're at in life. So the real answer is it's just not practical to do RA as heavy as I was, to drive where to get into the city where I was, where I could do so much RA very easily. I would have to drive an extra hour and a half every day to get back into that kind of route. And so it's gas is not cheap, and and honestly, some of it's kind of maybe a little bit of laziness too. Like it's like I don't have to work that hard, I don't have to work as hard as I used to, and I'm making less money. Don't let's be clear. I would make more money per hour in the short term with RA, but what I found is they're really replenishables that you can do. You just reorder it,
Yep.
and that's a really cool thing. And so I think that 2023, maybe 2024 is the year that we scale up. But for now, we're just trying to get really good systems in place, lower the stress, and create a little bit more balance for Pokemon cards with the kids, and quality time, and then also like some of the other projects that I'm working on with that stuff too. So
Yeah. And that goes back to like your why. Know why you started this business. Not everyone wants to build this massive multi-million-dollar business. Some people just kind of want to replace an income, and then if they can, remove themselves or just work less so they can spend more time with family, whatever. But it's important to know why you started the business. And another question I have though is like, what is your why? I know you talked about kind of wanting to teach kids like how they can start business, and I think in your Instagram bio it talks about how your future missionary funded by Amazon. Do you want to talk a little bit about your why?
yeah, absolutely. So I when I was uh, early in my marriage, I was probably 19 or 20, something like that, and still kind of figuring out where what I wanted to do with my life. I was convinced we were just gonna get married and go be a missionary, and and do mercy missions. I just want to feed hungry people and help people that don't have a family or a house, that sort of thing. Like, I want to build them houses, set up stuff. That was my kind of passion, and it still is. That's a big part of why I work harder than I have to, because eventually, when I don't have young kids and a couple of young businesses and like things that are very I want to get to doing more with that. But the biggest why that I have right now is I want my kids to have better than I did. So I want to set them up anything they want to do, anything they feel like they're called to. I want to have that in place for them. So we had I'm a Christian. There was a church service where uh, it in a moment it was just so clear to me that I wasn't supposed to preach or do ministry in a traditional sense, that I was supposed to be a Christian businessman. And that was my calling. That was what I was, purposed to do. And so I just kind of been doing that, where's the business? What's the right way to build it? So that's kind of my, that's my why.
It's awesome. What are some of your like primary sourcing strategies? How are you actually finding the products that you're flipping?
Yeah, so I'm a big Discord guy. So I I I source leads for other people. Like I do that. And by the way, I bought your list last night. Solid as heck, man. You're doing a good job. All right, your VA
Thank you.
teamer, whoever is that was for $10. That you should triple the price on that. And don't sell it to anybody else, especially Cisco. Uh, no, I'm kidding. So I'm a big Discord guy. So I do source leads, and I have a team of VAs that are working on that too. But for my personal, like what I'm buying day in day out, I go into the Discords. There's 4 or 5 that I'm pretty on top of, and I source the leads that were 4 to 8 weeks past. And so we have a system work where everybody else has either forgotten about them or sold through and not replenished or whatever. But I have a better sense of the data, and that's where we're primarily sourcing from. And so looking at Keepa hard, and trying to make the best decisions. Our biggest, sort of shift in the way we source is last year our strategy was get as much money, as much credit as possible, and buy everything. This year we're trying to do less credit and do instead of buying everything, don't buy the good stuff. We're trying to only buy the great stuff. And so that was a big shift. My wife and I sat down and kind of really looked at it. There was a lot of stuff we were breaking even on, and you can try to make it sexy and look at it, but at the end of the day, we were breaking even and we were losing money on some stuff. And so we looked at it, and those were mostly the ones where I was saying, that's good, it looks good, and so now I'm looking for the tingle on the back of my neck before I buy. I'm looking for not necessarily 100% ROI, but I want it to be obvious that it's a great purchase. So that's and then another thing we've changed is we're doing a lot more shoes. So I want to be heavy Nike. There's another brand, I don't want to say which one it is because I don't know how famous you are, but we did like 40% of one toy brand last year, and I want that 40%. I want to be that heavy in Nike this year, so that's the goal, is to get heavier into Nike.
Okay, so 2 questions. One, what's your return rate looking like on shoes?
Terrible. It's awful. It's the worst thing ever. It's like 20%. Like
Yeah, I
that's
saw
the average.
20% as well. That's part of the reason why I avoid them. Why is that not much of a concern for you?
Well, out of those, we found a lot of them are still new. They're like, most people don't suck. Some of them do, but most people don't. So, they come back and they're resellable on Amazon. So, you can, and we do, do the restocking fees, and we have a strategy for that. But also, we have a system in place. We have a local Facebook group that we can offload crap on, and and then we also have systems for eBay, and we're having a lot of success with goat and with used nicer shoes, the type of stuff we're selling on Amazon. When it gets returned, we can recoup our money, and in a lot of cases, not a lot, but some cases, we're making profit on it's not a huge loss. So it's not 20% loss, but it's just something you have to be prepared for.
Yeah, yeah. If you have the systems in place to handle those returns, then I guess it makes sense. My other question is, you say you want to be like super heavy on Nike, and you have that other toy brand. Um, does that not concern you, like being so deep on one brand, and whatever Amazon could do could take out like half your product line?
It could. The beautiful thing about Nike, I'm still learning. So, I mean, I'm not an expert by any means. Like before the last 90 days, we weren't very heavy on shoes at all. But most of what I'm seeing is not replenishable anyway. So a lot of what we're buying is, some guy was sharing and you learn which guys are good and which guys are kind of whatever. But there'll be a link that says this restocked, and then it's a picture of the thing, and then it has the link for the ASIN on Amazon. And so you look at it and you're like, oh, that's great. It's beautiful. And so you buy 5 or 2 or, whatever you have the cojones to pull the trigger to make the purchase. But then you get it in, and I like to reorder when I'm prepping. And so you go back to replenish, and it's almost like the site laughs at you. It's like, no, you can't get those at that price anymore. And you start looking around, and it's like the only way you can buy that is at double that price now. And so long way of saying it's not really replenishable. So it's not like I'm building a big replenishable, fancy, automated something or another. It's more just a system of, here's a link, go buy it. It kind of looks like this other one that you had success with. So,
Yeah. Are you seeing like a higher ROI on the shoe category?
yeah, I am. I don't really want anybody to jump on with, and tank the prices or anything, but I think people are still scared to sell Nike shoes on Amazon. At least some of them. Not everything. But I think there's an arbitrage between Goat, StockX, eBay, and then Amazon, because I think a lot of people are scared to sell some of the higher end stuff or some of the bigger dollar amount shoes on Amazon. So we've had some success with that.
What does a price comparison between Amazon and other platforms look like?
Typically higher.
Okay.
Typically, so there's one, I think retail is $100. You look on Goat and it may be like 140 or maybe 120 or something like that. And then you look on Amazon, it's 180, 200. And so, you can't trust that data indefinitely. Like you still have to analyze it and look at Keepa and look at, because sometimes you'll see it's 180 on Goat and then it's 500 on Amazon, but you really get to look at it and it's never sold ever, before. And so, that happens too. So.
Okay. What advice would you have for someone just starting out?
So I do consulting. The first question I ask people is, how much time do you have weekly? What's your time look like? How hard do you want to work? And then the second thing I ask is, how much cash/credit do you have? And so, my answer to that is wildly different for different people. But in general, work harder than everybody else. Most people are dumb. They're not doing anything extra to kind of push growth and explore new categories and see new opportunities. Another big thing that I tell everybody is, if you're looking to spend real money on arbitrage type stuff, like not thrifting and not used books, which are both great, but if you're looking to do new arbitrage type stuff, and you don't know what to buy. Like, I'm not sure. Like if I gave you $20,000, you're an experienced seller, you could spend it probably in the next couple of days, like no problem, and there's some opportunity there, I think. But a new seller who tells me I don't know what to buy, I tell them join Discords, join Bolo groups, join lead list, pay to play, and I catch some flack for that, which is funny on Instagram, because I have affiliate stuff and groups that I pimp out hard because I love those. Like they've made me a lot of money, and so I think it makes sense, to like I don't affiliate for anything that I don't think is a great option. But join all the groups, every single one of them. If you've got real money, like I did some consulting for a pharmacist that was trying to he didn't want to start his own pharmacy, and so he wanted to get out of the job that he was working eventually. So he wanted to do Amazon, and he had a failed private label. So he wanted to do arbitrage. And he said, I know you're having success with it. We talked about blah, blah, blah. I said, dude, you've got real money. Join every single lead group, every one of them, like all of them. If they offer it and they're open, join it and get in. Spend 30 to 60 days deciding if they're full of crap or if they're good. And then fire the ones that are full of crap, and then continue to work with the ones that are making you money. And if it's profitable, even if it's profitable by $1, you're in there with other people who are doing what you're doing, and so you're able to network. Like, how the crap do I know Cisco? And then he referred. I had a business problem where I needed a prep center, because the last one I won't say anything about the last one that I tried to work with, but so networking. He was like, hey bro, you should talk to Logan, and that's how I got to know you. So even if you join a group and it's $100 a month, but you have the country club aspect of rubbing elbows with other people who are doing the same thing you're doing, like there's a lot of value there. So, and I've learned a ton, just using that one strategy.
Yeah, my experience with the groups is the leads are typically okay. Like the leads can typically pay for the group, but they're going to be tanking a lot because of the members. But the really big value for me in groups, and I'm still in a couple, is that networking. It's getting to rub elbows with other sellers. It's getting to ask any question and get an answer. Just being able to talk to other questions or to other sellers in a group. So yeah, that's definitely good advice. And I would say once you have the budget for it, you should definitely find a good group to get in. Just don't let it get in the way of your inventory spending. But like you said, if you got tons of money, definitely join in up with some groups.
Yeah, and caveat there, if you don't have any problem spending your money, then it's exploratory. Then join it if you want to. But like people, you put out a few pieces of content on Instagram that you're a reseller and kind of what you're doing, you get 10 messages. I don't know what to sell. I can't find anything to sell. And it's like, bro, spend $30 and go, like go learn, so that's my soapbox. I'll get off of it.
Do you have any virtual assistants working for you?
Yes, I have one full-time, and then I have several that work just on a as needed basis. So,
what kind of tasks are they helping you with?
So, the one that's full-time, he does daily tasks for me where he's going and going through each Discord channel and picking out the great leads rather than the good leads. And so he's doing that for me personally, which are not shared anywhere. I keep everything, kind of organized. And then he's also doing work for the group that I run. I have a small group that is just, it has an OA drip, daily, where anything that's profitable, we're trying to just keep flowing through there and generating leads, and then some other other stuff for that. And then we have kind of a calendar of things that we're getting to, of sites that we want to manually source and go through. So they're either going through line by line and looking at it, or using like Tactical Expander, or a tool like that, and just basically generating leads, and then some administrative stuff for me.
Okay, cool. So you said you have consulting services, and then you said you have that group, but I think it's closed. Are there any other services that you offer?
Yeah, the group that you nailed it. I mean, you called it. I could probably have 250 or 300 people in my group if I wanted to, and we've chosen to close it and stay small. And just because the value of a lead goes down so hard,
Yeah.
after more than a few people see it. So we have closed our group. We've been closed for a while. There's a waiting list. I do consulting. I really enjoy that. Like I met a guy at my local Walmart that was buying Pokemon cards, and we were both, you've been there. I don't know, maybe you have, where you're standing there beside the other guy, and you both know that you're both resellers, and so we just kind of started chatting, and long story short, he ended up being he followed me on Instagram, and then later on he signed up for consulting, and so we started talking. Well, he joined one of the groups that I affiliate for. In that group, he learned how to start his Amazon account. I think he sold his first 10,000 in a couple months off of the leads in there, and then he came to me to do consulting to scale up from there, and that's just the coolest thing to me. That's very exciting. So
Yeah.
other than my group and the consulting, I have two groups that I affiliate for that I'm a big fan of. That's Heat Seekers, and then the Selling Fast Lane. And Heat Seekers is the shoe group that I was talking about. So that's pretty much all that I pedal on Instagram. Other than that, I just kind of record my lunch, and then if I have a random business thought, I try to put it on there. So
Okay. Yeah, if you have a link tree or something that you want to drop in the chat, feel free so that people
okay.
can sign up consulting or maybe join one of your groups.
Yeah, when I get off here, I'll go on and I can just go on the YouTube video and just put it in the comments.
Yeah, you can just put it in the comment, and then I'll pin it so that people can see it at the top.
Sweet. Okay, cool.
Yeah, we'll open it up for questions. If anyone has any questions for Cody, feel free to drop that in the chat.
Love it, man. Hey, do you have any tips on? So I want to start a YouTube. I have, I have an okay following on Instagram, but I have literally zero. Like I've created an account, but I haven't started putting any content. Are you doing anything? Like any advice you'd give?
You just got to press record. Sounds simple and straightforward, but like I put up my first video probably a year and a half ago, and I never stayed consistent with it. And I mean, this sounds dumb that I'm going to say this, but I started seeing better results now that I'm posting a few times a week. So you just got to be consistent. You just got to press record. You just got to post the content. One thing that has helped me stay more consistent, though, is I hired a VA to do video editing for me. And one, it outsources that task, frees up more of my time. But two, like, kind of holds me responsible. So I have someone who's waiting for work. So I have to provide that work for them.
Yeah.
So guess that could be a tidbit.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think my VA could do that if I asked him to. I don't know if he'd love it, but that may be something I bring somebody else in.
Yeah, if you get started and you want, I can talk to my VA to see if he'd want to edit for you as well, because he's just part-time for me.
Okay, cool, nice. So let's see. Cody, what's behind you, not the TV? Okay, so I've got a TV, I've got some shoes, I have an OA incoming box. Let's see, no, that's on this side. That I haven't opened yet, so I don't know what's in there. And then I have Beyblade toys on this side that I bought clearance that have been sitting there forever, and I didn't send them in, and so now we're finding out that that's not going to be a great brand to resell. So now I'm probably just going to sell them on Facebook. So.
Cisco says he wants to see some long form content from Cody.
Coming soon. I don't want to be. So I thought about changing my my whole username from Cody Does Amazon to Cody Does Arbitrage. Because I don't know if I'm going to be an Amazon guy forever. Like I like Amazon. I think it's going to be wonderful for the next 5 years. But I don't know after that. And so, building a whole big thing on Cody Does Amazon, I'm a little concerned about that, but that's a really dumb thing to be worried about. But on the YouTube channel, I want to be a small business channel. I don't want to be, I don't want to create content just about, this is how you record a keepa, like somebody like Fields of Profit or, some of those guys. Like they're doing that already, and they're doing really good at it. So I don't want to just go and recreate their, and half the crap I know is just from watching their videos. And so I want to talk about more what I'm passionate about, which is just small business and growing from 0 to 100K. Like that's really exciting for a kid that grew up in the projects. That there's I can think of a dozen off the top of my head probably that are ways that you could go from having nothing, unemployed, broke with nothing going on, to really moving in the business world. As long as you're willing to work and you're not lazy and that sort of thing. So
Yeah, I'm having the same kind of thoughts as I'm building my brand. Like I'm not locked into anything since it's just my name is my brand. But I don't want to just be an Amazon channel because like I know I'm not going to be doing Amazon forever. I'm going to have a bunch of other business ventures and I want to be able to document that whole journey and teach people just like general entrepreneurship stuff and not get so locked into Amazon. So kind of long term, I'm trying to figure out how I can do that. But right now, just making Amazon content.
yeah. Hey, if that's what you're doing, that's authentic. Um, I think Amazon's going to be like really good for the next 5 years. After that, I tend to think that there's going to be some software or some company that comes in and kills the middleman. It just get it while the getting is good. But I think at some point down the road, I think OA will get hit hard, and I think that RA will be I think RA is around probably forever, but like that would be a hard problem to solve. But some crypto genius software something or another that comes up with the probabilities that I'm buying one thing on Walmart as fast as I can buy it 2 or 3 times a day, if I guess two times a day, that is $1 and I'm selling it and getting $4 back. Like that's an inefficiency in the market, and there's a lot of people that are way smarter than me, and I think they figure something out about how to fix that. So
Yeah. Who knows where it'll go long term, but the point is make money now while you can.
exactly, yeah. Hey, it's an opportunity. I'll take as long as you're not doing something illegal or something unethical. Like I think there's so much opportunity that's not illegal, not unethical, that it's just like go do it. I was watching Alex Hormozy, his backup plan while he was growing, like he's like some crazy, like he has like some crazy amount of cash flow now. Like he's built like a giant company. But his backup plan the whole time he was growing was, I'm just going to go drive for Uber during the day and I'm going to strip. I'm going to work as a stripper at night. And that was his plan to make 100 and I forget what he said, 6 figures. He said, I knew no matter what, I could go do those 2 things and make, a 6-figure income. So it's like, the opportunity's out there.
Yeah, there's so many different ways to make money. I don't know if you follow Nate Jackson from Hustle Buddies. He runs
Yeah.
he always says there's a million ways to make $1 million. And it's
Yeah.
so true.
Yeah. He did a video on taxes that helped me a ton. I've never met the guy or interacted with him, but yeah, they've got their crap together. They're doing a good job.
Sure. I'm actually in his private insiders group.
Nice.
I would say I learned the most from him in that group. I took a couple of his courses. He really knows what he's doing.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. Well, unless there's no other questions, we'll give it maybe another minute, but we're going to go ahead and wrap it up.
Love it.
Cody, thanks for your time. Where can everyone find you?
Yeah, so on Twitter, I'm a nobody. It's the same handle as I put my unfiltered thoughts on Twitter, and then I put most of my content out on Instagram, and then we have a local Facebook group if you're near Atlanta. So, favorite color. That's what you want to ask. My favorite color is burnt orange. So that's
burnt orange. Okay.
Speaking of, what kind of camera did you say? Because like you look incredible, but I look like I'm in like a 1980s TV. I should have got on my Mac.
It's a Logitech HD 1080p.
Okay, hey, I sold a bunch of those, or some of those Logitech something. So.
Yeah, it's a good camera. Yeah. Well, thanks again for your time. Do you have a last statement that you want to give to everybody?
I would say work super hard, enjoy your family, go sell some crap on the internet.
There it is. All right. See ya.
See you, brother.